I am a small, technically venturing in the field of academe with small animal practice, but my veterinary clinics are just only a small time, not the same sa mga veterinary hospitals. But anyways, with regards sa aton nga mga experiences and mga learnings, so on this subject, daghan kayo ta may ma-share or may ma-learn with regards on how we will going to deal with different canine diseases and later for the feline diseases. Okay. So, with regards on your past performances on the breeds, so far on the canine medicine, okay man ang aton nga performance. But on the feline medicine, I don't know what happened. Siguro medyo tricky lang gid ang mga appearance sa mga miming.
Oh my God!
Okay, so please expect na lang gid sa aton nga online class nga daghan kay tag mga sound effects. Kay syempre, we are in the 1 to 5 p.m. So what do you expect? Kadukaon kayo ni nga oras. So hopefully you will not sleep there while ga lecture kita. Okay. So without further ado, we will going to start na sa kung ano ang aton nga remaining topic for the P1 exam. Imagine no, one meeting lang para sa isa ka topic. Kay medyo rush siya ang aton nga time frame. It's because of what happened last year nga sa gunso ng bagyo and ang linog. Hopefully nga no more calamities na. Okay. Do medyo riit gid basta year of the snake or I don't know lang. Okay, please type 3 if in case makita na naton ang presentation. Okay. So, please take note ha, with regards on this subject, unahan sa nakamudaan, nga we are already on the medicine subject. As much as I want, pwede man unta nato i-discuss tanan. However, what is expected sa kaninga subject is that I might introduce you to the different diseases of dogs or cats later. And then, what you're going to do as is to read further details sa aton nga prescribed textbook. And I guess na naman siguro or nakita nyo na sa GCR ang Merck Veterinary Manual. Actually, I don't know, basta nakita lang ko na sa internet, download ko lang dayon. And fortunately, that's the same Merck Veterinary Manual na latest edition na ginagamit usually sa mga veterinarians globally. So, pwede natin siya basihan sa aton nga mga exams. Now, with regards on our next topic, tapos na ta sa breeds. So, please keep the handouts lang gid for future references. And we will now proceed to the bulk of our P1 exam, canine infectious disease. So, most of the diseases that being presented in the veterinary clinics are infectious diseases. Usually, arang mga metabolic, rare lang na siya or maybe hindi lang ma-detect. Kay tungod nga ang iban nga veterinary clinics here in the Philippines kay hindi ka masyado daghan og laboratory equipment. But usually, ang mga diseases na gina-present are diseases that is caused by pathogens. So the objective of this study is to discuss the different infectious diseases in dogs and their etiology, epidemiology, and clinical manifestation. So tandaan nyo guys ha, in this subject, you are going to or we are going to highlight again or take note kung sino ang gakos, what are their epidemiology, mga diin nga age bracket ang gaka-affected, all ages ba, young animals or old animals, what are the set of clinical signs and syndromes, and then if in case ma-diagnose naton ang kana nga disease, what will be the possible prognosis? Is the dog still have chance to survive or maybe grave na gid ang iya nga condition? And possibly formulate treatment and preventive procedures on different infectious diseases of dogs. Okay. So kahapon on our previous meeting, what we did is that in every 1 hour break time kami 15 minutes. However, late na ta nag-start plus may technical glitch pa gid so maybe diretsoon na lang gid naton until the 2 p.m. But of course, we will give a break time naman in transition for the feline medicine. Now, Infectious disease is defined in the veterinary medicine as illnesses caused by pathogenic organism. So anything that is not from the inside of our body, nga mga organism nga introduce sa animal's body or primarily in the dog as per this case, and then it will cause a certain symptoms, clinical signs and disease, so that could be defined as infectious. So aside from that, these diseases can spread between animals to animals and sometimes between humans and animals. That is why nga ginatawag nato na siya sometimes nga zoonotic diseases. And then, pwede man siya maging transmitted through inanimate objects, okay? Or environmental exposure. Or pwede man siya paagi sa mga vectors. For example, the ticks and the mosquitoes. Okay? Now, we will going to classify each diseases based on the type of pathogen. So, it can be viral, bacterial, protozoal, parasitic, fungal, and rickettsial. Okay. So primarily on the infectious diseases and also more commonly nga occur diri sa aton nga setting are usually those viral diseases in dogs. So I might be mentioning some points nga wala sa PowerPoint, so please take down notes and then use it as a reference also when reading the Merck manual. Okay. First is the canine distemper virus. So what do you think is the cause of the canine distemper virus? Anyone? Hands up or put in the chat box. What virus causes the canine distemper? Anyone? Yes, that's correct. 1 point bonus for the kay Catherine Baril Saludo and also Peña Verde. The paramyxovirus or specifically Morbilli virus. By the way guys, I am giving bonuses during oral maka-answer sa mga question nakon. And ang protocol naton dara to cater your bonuses is that put the bonus on the answer sheet during exam and then buta na ton +1 tapos unsa tong gi-answer nimo and then that will be credited as 1 point. So imagine 50 items or 50 points ang exam, so +1, so may possibility nga mahimo kang 51 over 100 given if ma-perfect nimo ang A1 exam. But if in case makalimtan nimo during the exam nga masulat sa answer sheet or imbes nga sa answer sheet nimo gi-answer dito nimo gibutang sa test paper, then automatic your bonus will be nullified. And take note, bonuses for P1 are exclusively for P1, so hindi siya pwede mabutang sa P2, P3. Okay? So hopefully na-understand natin tanan ha. Now, with regards to the canine distemper virus, so this is one of the very common viral diseases in dog. Usually, gina-atake ni nila wala pili nga edad, but primarily those unvaccinated nga mga dogs. So what are the typical clinical signs of canine distemper virus? Di ba kabadungog na mo anang concept nga dok gaano siya gamuta-muta, nagsipon, gaubo, and naay times nga mukirig siya or nagkalibang because the canine distemper virus has 3 clinical manifestation, primarily a respiratory infection, GI infection or gastrointestinal problem, and then lastly, if in case maka-encounter na some nervous signs or nervous issue, then the prognosis of the dog with canine distemper are what? Are poor or guarded. Okay, so that's for the canine distemper virus. Next is for the canine adenoviruses. So this is actually the causative agent of infectious canine hepatitis. So this is actually also known as the, wait lang ha, Boubart's disease. Okay? Dapat may apostrophe S na siya ha, please ano nyo lang sa aton nga chat box. Okay? Or pwede man siya tawgon naton nga blue eye disease in dogs. Why? because usually the dogs presented with infectious canine hepatitis, of course, ang ilang nga balatian, they have a liver problem as well in association with corneal opacity, ga-opaque ang ilang nga mata, and then to the point nga murag color blue na ang appearance. It's because it has something to do with the immune complexes nga associated sa infection and also by the destruction of the liver. Okay. So that's for the CAV. Next is for the canine parvoviruses. So very common actually ni. Oo. In some other countries, very rare lang si canine parvoviruses. But on the Philippines, if you will become a small animal practitioner soon, hindi ka mo ma-zero kada semana or kada bulan na adjud na parvo case nga ma-encounter. So this parvovirus is actually causes hemorrhagic gastroenteritis in puppies, especially those puppies nga unvaccinated or may mga missed nga vaccine or nagkalalaps na ang ilang nga vaccine. Now, this parvovirus, of course, by the name itself, was caused by the parvovirus itself, a DNA virus, and then usually they infect the gastrointestinal lining, and then it will destroy the GI lining and will cause hemorrhagic diarrhea. Usually, the puppies that may infected with parvovirus, nakapatay sila not because of the virus itself, but due to the effect of the virus nga ginmanifest dito. For example, severe dehydration kay sigig kalibanga or wala na fluid sa body, nagka-hypovolemic shock. Or di gani tungod sa secondary bacterial infection, okay, na na-encounter during parvovirus infection, nag-spread ang bacteria not only in the GI tract but also in the circulation. It might lead also to what we call as the septic shock. Okay? So, amo na siya usually ang clinical signs. And then, of course, ang typical baho sang pupo sang dogs with parvovirus, of course. Familiar man siguro mo, kanang murag langsa nga isda ba? Amo na siya ang sa dogs with parvo. And then, there are some cases, it was being written in the Merck Veterinary Manual, that canine parvovirus also occur in old dogs. But dogs ka ng mga senior na jud pa. And then, pero primarily, dito gid sila sa mga puppies. Next is the canine coronavirus. Actually, the typical signs of canine coronavirus is almost the same with the canine parvoviruses, but milder. Okay? If the dog is infected with canine coronaviruses, medyo ma-okay pa siguro ang prognosis, ma-consider pa as good given if early ang detection and early ang presentation. However, sa canine parvovirus, I tell you, ayaw jud mo kumpiyansa. It's because medyo traidor gini siya nga disease. Okay? I have mentioned from the last section kagahapon nga basta gani if you will be dealing soon with canine parvoviruses, no matter what the dog may appear during the consultation, do not give guarantee to the client nga makasurvive siya. Why? Because there might be a tendency that the dog will be presented severely dehydrated, positive for parvo, but fortunately, makasurvive siya. But there are some cases na i-present sa inyo ang dog with parvo, somewhat nga okay pa siya, mulakaw pa, mukaon pa, despite nga gasok-kasuka na, pero kalitan ra di ay og kamatay. Why? Because there might be a case that the parvovirus will spread to the circulation, go to the heart, and will cause cardiac arrest. Yes. Amo na siya actually ang kaano sang parvo kay may ara times nga hindi mamatay tungod sa GI problem but due to cardiac injury or cardiac infection sa heart mismo. Okay, so that's for the case of canine parvovirus. And then for the canine herpes viruses, actually this herpes viruses is more of a respiratory and reproductive disease. Okay, so yes, it can cause abortion and also a respiratory problem. Next is for the rabies virus. Okay, hopefully you are taking notes or listening. Now, with regards on the rabies virus, we all know that rabies is a zoonotic disease. It does not only infect dogs, it does not only infect cats, it infects it infects all mammals, including humans. Okay. Now, what are the 3 stages of rabies? Review to sa virology. Palumbaan na lang sa chat box. What are the 3 stages of rabies? Anyone?
Bruh.
Wala again? Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, nauna na si Oitiko. Sorry sa naulahi. So, the first stage is the prodromal phase or damp phase. Somewhat medyo bangag ang infected ng dog with rabies. And then, next, it will be furious phase. And this time, grabe na ka-aggressive ang dog. Mamaak na jod, murag zombie sa ibang pang description. And then, lastly, it will form into paralysis phase. Once na sa paralysis phase, automatic na ko lang chance mamatay na ang infected na dog. Okay? So, 1 point for Ortico. Please take note na lang para sa inyong P1 exam. Okay. Now, Aray siya even though that we are in the canine medicine, but for the sake of client education, nadyo na mangutana ba sa inyo pohon? Doc, gipaakan ko sa iro, naapoy bakuna sa rabies, naapoy bakuna ang iro sa rabies. So, unsay mo una ko? As per protocol manggid, okay, di ba usually ang ato nga is to observe the animal for 14 days. If nothing happens to the dog, then most likely, okay, wala problem. Given if vaccinated ang dog or you are vaccinated or not. Okay? So, pwede na siya. However, bisan ikaw bakunado, tapos ang dog hindi bakunado against rabies, okay? And then, pag-observe nimo after 14 days, okay lamang gihapon, I tell you, ayaw kumpiyansa. Ayaw kumpiyansa given if walay bakuna ang ido. Samot na kung ikaw pod walay bakuna, pa-vaccine ka dyan. And of course, kung non-vaccinated, ano sa tawag sini? Not only for the dog bites mo, for example, your wound, open wound was licked by a dog, and then unknown ang vaccination history. So, pa-vaccinate ka na lang against rabies. So, mauna siya. But however, hindi man pwedeng hindi ka mag-visit sa animal bite treatment center, especially if the wound is too deep. Why? Because you might not be killed by the rabies, but take note, it is not only the rabies are the ones that contaminate in the dog saliva, but also other pathogens. So, basig di ka mamatay sa rabies, pero mamatay ka sa tetanus.
Bruh.
So, hindi ka mamatay sa rabies, mamatay ka sa pasteurellosis. It's because one of the common bacterial infection associated with dog bites, bacteria are pasteurellosis and tetanus. That is why ng iban gapa-inject ang anti-tetanus shot during the course of treatment man sa rabies. Okay? If there are questions, please raise your hand lang gid students para nga maging tatanan aware. Next is the canine influenza virus. Okay? So for the canine influenza virus, this is primarily a respiratory problem for dogs. Wait lang guys, kita sa nako danay akong kudig. Kay kung unsa to nga strain ang usually involved sa canine influenza virus. Same lang man siya actually sa avian influenza virus, but of course different na ni siya nga strain. Wait for a moment. Basta may number daan, makalimot na ta.
Bruh.
Okay. So these are actually the strain. Please take note lang ang documented in dog. AH3N8. And i-encode ko lang siya, guys. Okay. These are actually the strains of canine coronaviruses nga na-infect or known to be reported. Ay, not H2N2 ha, H3N2. Sorry. Please disregard the H2N2 ha. Typo error na siya. So these are actually the strains. So please take note. And then, aside from canine influenza virus, the next is the canine para-influenza virus. Now, si canine para-influenza virus, this is actually one of the causes of what we call as the infectious tracheobronchitis or kennel cough complex. It was termed as kennel cough complex because the causative agent of kennel cough is not caused by only one pathogen. Usually in the vaccination for kennel cough, ang ginabutang dira is the Bordetella bronchiseptica bacterium. However, ano tawag sini? Hindi lang man si Bordetella. It's because Bordetella, in order to cause diseases, kinahanglan niyag kauban nga other pathogen. So, hindi na siya introvert. Kinahanglan niya na, for example, sa kennel cough, so it can be a combination or it is usually a combination of canine para-influenza virus together with the Bordetella bronchiseptica. Okay, what might happen is that this canine para-influenza virus will infect the respiratory tract, destroy the respiratory lining, and those Bordetella bronchiseptica will cause secondary bacterial infection resulting to further injury sa respiratory tract. So, Doc, ano na siya ang kennel cough? Ang kennel cough actually kana bitong barukoy nga ubo sa ido nga kanang sometimes wet but usually dry cough na siya nga murag ganahan siya na iisuka pod ba. I guess maano wala ninyo ma-encounter man but it is actually very common especially sa isa ka lugar or sa isa ka house nga daghan mga iro. But please take note, do not only isolate nga the kennel cough only occurs sa mga dogs nga daghan kaayo sa isa ka balay, but because there are some dogs nga bisan sila ra ang present sa kanang balay, usually they can be infected. Okay, maybe they were exposed to other dogs in the community or during walking bay or during playing with other dogs. So that's for the canine para-influenza virus. Next is the canine respiratory coronavirus. So another strain of coronavirus but this time respiratory disease ang ilang concern. And then rotavirus. Please take note the presence of rotavirus in dogs hindi kaayo na serious. It might cause diarrhea. However, please take note that rotavirus, even though non-pathogenic sa dog, very pathogenic sa human, especially infants. So, ang kulba dira, so, if may ma-detect ka mo nga rotavirus sa dog, ask dayo ng client, ma'am, do you have a child or infant sa inyong lugar? As much as possible, ilikaw danay sa ido because ang rotavirus sa human, almost the same effect sa parvos at puppies. So, amo na ang seriousness ng rotavirus as per zoonotic implication. Next is the canine papillomavirus. It causes cauliflower-like lesions on the skin, just like what is presented here. So usually, papillomaviruses are self-limiting pathogens. However, ang effect niya sa animal's body, siyempre, tanawa na lang gud ang iyang appearance diri sa picture. This one. So, what is expected is mas mayo nga tanggalo na siya. There are times nga pwede lang na dili naton siya tanggalan, pasagdan lang kay matanggalan na siya. However, wait lang ta Jay sila. However, kung daghan na kaayo na nga papilloma viruses or effects ng cauliflower-like lesion, surgical excision or cryotherapy is best recommended to kill or to get rid of this lesion. And then lastly, the canine minute virus. Okay. Na-mistap lang. Sige. Now, what is the treatment for viral disease? Okay. Please take note for the viral disease, okay, there is actually a treatment. Yes. May aron man kita mga antiviral medication. However, Usually, bisan tanaw nyo pa kay Merck, moingon na siya, there is no specific treatment for basta inganing viral disease. Kaya at the first place, very expensive ang mga antiviral drugs. Tapos, ang kapait pa na, if in case maggamit ang antiviral drugs, no guarantee gihapon that the dog will be cured. So usually, basta viral disease, ang dira is supportive therapy, symptomatic treatment, and giving antibiotics to prevent or cure the secondary bacterial infection nga natabo. So amo lang ni siya ang reality with regards to viral disease. Now, before we proceed to another classification, any questions so far? Okay. Ako na lang sulti. Wala na may questions.
Bruh.
Now, we will going to proceed to the bacterial disease. Okay? More details ha, please read the Merck. Tanawan nyo na rin kaning mga lista, tanawan mo ninyo si Merck, basahan ninyo dito. Okay, for the bacterial disease, number one bacterial disease that occurs in dogs is leptospirosis. Now, leptospirosis in dogs actually causes liver and kidney problems. The causative agent of that is Leptospira interrogans. Okay? Aring si Leptospira interrogans, this is actually 2 species lang man na siya mo sa base sa latest nga classification of Leptospira. The Leptospira interrogans, and I forgot the other species, but the rest of the Leptospira nga gina-mention sa 5-in-1 nga bottle or sa libro are just serovars. Okay? Those are only serovars because Leptospira interrogans, isa lang siya ka species. So ato mga Leptospira harjo, Leptospira ecterohemorrhagiae, Leptospira canicola, Leptospira pomona, arang mga last nga species, they are not species, rather they are serovars. Mas mayo pa nga Leptospira interrogans, var harjo, Leptospira interrogans, var canicola. So pwede nga nga pag-right. So going back to the clinical signs of leptospirosis, usually sa amo nga case ang lepto, they will present with jaundice. Why? Because the liver is being destroyed during the course of infection. Later, may i-present ko sa inyo nga case for further details. Next is the Lyme disease, which caused by Borrelia burgdorferi. Not common in the Philippines, but of course, for the sake of information, kag syempre, in preparation for the board, need pa natin siya i-tanan. Next is brucellosis. The causative agent is Brucella canis. Main clinical manifestations ng brucellosis are abortion and reproductive problems. And it might cause sterility also in infected animals. Next, the kennel cough complex, which includes Bordetella bronchioseptica and atong na-mention na kung na canine para influenza virus. So, mention ko naman ang role ni Bordetella. Next, others are the actinomycosis, nocardiosis, so amo ning ilang species involved, and then the Clostridial infection. Actually, si Clostridium difficile, it's more of a GI problem together with Clostridium perfringens. Wala ko lang na-mention si Clostridium tetani and Clostridium botulinum, but please study gihapon sa katong duha. As long as it infects the dogs. Now, ano ang effect ni Clostridium perfringens? Are you familiar with the disease antibiotic-induced enterotoxemia? Antibiotic-induced enterotoxemia? Type 3 if yes, type 2 if not. I am waiting for your answer.
Nothing beats the Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
Okay. Sa aring sa antibiotic-induced enterotoxemia, usually gakatabo ni siya if in case a certain pet owner or unaware nga mga tawag sining persons, they are usually giving antibiotics even though that the disease was not caused by a bacteria. So, if in case there is a disease, pero hindi caused by bacteria, pero nihatag og antibiotic. So, once mo appear ang or mo present ang antibiotic sa lawas ng animal, tapos wala sila makita nga bacteria, kinsa ilang pambunogon or kinsa ilang pamatyon. Those probiotics that is already present on the gastrointestinal tract of the animal. So, mao to siya ang ilang pamatyon. Now, if in case those probiotics which helps normalize the GI tract, kung mamatay na sila, what might happen is that these Clostridium perfringens will start to proliferate because they are considered opportunistic bacteria na aranay gamay nga concentration sa body sang animal on the GI tract. And what happens is that once wala na probiotics, sila ang modaghan, they will release endotoxin resulting to enterotoxemia. So that's how Clostridium perfringens attack during this case. Okay? Next is the Clostridium tetani. The only difference, hindi man only, but the difference of Clostridium tetani, the causative agent of tetanus, and Clostridium botulinum, the causative agent of botulism, is that the type of paralysis. Because the Clostridium tetani, they cause spastic paralysis, just like what is presented here in the photo. Nanggahi na siya. Ang isang spastics. Pero kung sa botulinum, they are actually known to be flaccid paralysis. So kung flaccid paralysis, ang gawas sina is lunay. Kanabitang luya. Okay? And take note ha, aning presentation here in the picture, this is actually what we call as opisthotonos. And opisthotonos is actually one of the clinical manifestation of tetanus. Later may case kung ma-present dire, kaluyan maabtan pa sa time. Another diseases, bacterial diseases include salmonellosis. Okay, before ko mag-proceed, I forgot. With regards on the treatment. Now, with regards on the treatment of leptospirosis, mabasahan nyo na sa mark that the treatment is doxycycline. Okay. Doxycycline gina, dosage rates 10 mg per kilogram. However, muhatag kag doxycycline sa dog kung if in case mauna ning yellow iyang lawas. Of course, less likely. Why? Because one of the adverse effect of doxycycline is that they will cause liver damage. So kung damage na daan ng liver, tapos dugangan pa ninyo doxycycline, mamatay man siguro si Leptospira pero patay po ang animal. Kay tugod na ni samot o ka-injure ang liver. So as an initial treatment, since hindi advisable si doxycycline due to liver problem, pwede takahatag actually broad spectrum antibiotics such as amoxicillin clavulanic acid or known as co-amoxiclav. Okay? Para nga ma-initially patay, and then if in case ma-stabilize na ang liver enzymes or ang liver sang animal, then maybe that's the time nga muhatag tag doxycycline as follow-up. Okay. Now, next is the salmonellosis and campylobacteriosis. So these are actually two common gastrointestinal bacteria which causes infectious enteritis in dogs, regardless of age actually. So, of course, the treatment sa ila sini are antibiotics, and then depende sa availability ninyo dira or what is usually recommended. But of course, please take note that Salmonella and Campylobacter usually gaka-incorporate man ni sila if a certain dog is exposed to chicken, because or gani are exposed to reptiles, especially for the Salmonella nga case. Okay, kay siyempre do may ara na lang mga normal flora ang Salmonella sa mga wild sa mga reptiles, amphibians, and then for the Campylobacter sometimes present man siya sa poultry meat, and also the Salmonella. Okay, sa streptococcal infection, usually they cause respiratory tract infection and sometimes skin infection. Staphylococcus, such as the Staphylococcus pseudointermedius, actually it can also cause systemic illnesses and also skin problems. Aside from that, E. coli, tuberculosis. Okay, balik na sa E. coli. Now, with regards to E. coli, salmonellosis, campylobacteriosis, we all know nga wala man taga-bacterial culture sa veterinary setting, not unless kung mag-provide man gid. However, ang ano lang dere sa ila para sa yun ang pag-detect, even though nga at least ma-detect na to sa primarily or presumptively, is that mag-direct fecal smear ta. Isa na siya ka-way to diagnose. Doc, I thought direct fecal smear is used to detect parasite. Hindi lang na actually parasite itong ginadetect sa direct fecal smear, but also motile bacteria. Please take note of the anatomy of E. coli, Campylobacter, salmonellosis. Diba they have what we call as flagella or pili. So if they have flagella or pili, what they will do is that kung buhi sila, they will swim. So kung they fluid objects, so they will be very motile on the fecal matter. Usually, mas ma-emphasize mo na if ang inyong microscope is may monitor. Kay gamay lang na siyang adjustment sa fine adjustment knob, may makita ang kada maglangoy-langoy. Dili na siya actually amoeba lang. Tapos i-highlight mo bagay sa higher magnification, mas ma-emphasize ninyo, ay okay, these are actually motile bacteria. Kaya nga ang motile bacteria, magasuspekta nga sila gini nga tatlo, it's because the good bacteria or the lactobacillus are usually non-motile. Nara na sila, rod-shaped bacteria present in the pupo. Ay syempre, normal naman gid sa pupo sang dog nga may bacteria. But kung i-compare nimo sa good and bad bacteria, most of the good bacteria or the lactobacillus are non-motile or ga-shake-shake lang sa dira sa ilang nga place. Pero akaning mga motile, mulangoy na sila nga murag the cause of traffic sa pupo sang animal. Kung hindi nyo siya ma-picture out now, try nyo mag-fecalysis someday, tapos kung nindot pa dyan yung microscope, pag ano mo monitor, then mo, ano gina siya, mo gawas ng motile bacteria. Okay. Kaning si tuberculosis, milioidosis, of course, multi-species maning infection, but of course, for the milioidosis, this is primarily a horse pathogen. And si pasteurellosis, please take note ha, this is zoonotic. So if the dog is infected with pasteurellosis, they might suffer from systemic infection or respiratory infection. Either way, zoonotic ni siya. Kung infected sa Pasteurella ang dog, mapaakan niyang human, may tendency nga ang bite site, kung hindi matreat, maging inflamed din na siya. And to the point nga possibly ang person mamatay. Eh syempre, si Pasteurella can cause systemic infection man sa humans. Okay. Next is for the external parasite. Ilabay lang nato ni siya guys because this would be on the dermatology na nga part. However, ang point ko lang diri sa sining nga topic is that at least naman lang kabalo ka mo mag-recognize kung kinsa sa scientific name ang mites, ang ticks, ang fleas, or ang lice. Kay basig mangutan ako sa exam, which of the following ectoparasites of dogs are considered as mites? Tapos inyong answer kay Rhipicephalus sanguineus. Pwede, wow.
Oh my God!
So, at least naman lang, kabalot ta. Amo lang na akong danay because other na effects nila dito na in the future. But please also take note nga aring ticks, especially the Rhipicephalus sanguineus, are the main transmitter of blood parasites such as Ehrlichia, Anaplasma, Babesia, so don't forget all of it. And for the Stenocephalidis felis, take note ha, even though the scientific name is felis, pero this is actually more common in dogs rather than the Stenocephalidis canis. Amo na siya ang epidemiology sang fleas. And then the rest of, and then si Stenocephalidis felis are the ones that usually transmit Dipylidium caninum, especially if ma-accidentally ingest ang dog ang flea. Okay, aside from the external parasite, we have here the internal parasite. I know the pathogenesis, the biology of this parasite are already discussed in the parasitology. Now, the goal of this topic sa infectious disease is at least naman lang kung mag-fecalicis ta, ma-identify naton ang itlog kung kinsa ba na nga parasite. And then once ma-identify naton ang parasite egg, may tendency nga ay okay, this is a roundworm. Now, if this is a roundworm, what are the desired dewormer? Okay? Ano ang desired niya nga dewormer? So for example, kay nga aman, dili tanang purga sa animal are effective sa tanang bitok. Tandaan nyo na ha, I guess you are already learned that sa pharmacology. For example, if you want to deal with roundworms, for example, Toxocara, Ancylostoma, Strongyles, one of the best dewormers nga pwede ninyo nga magamit are the Pyrantel, Levamisole, and any other nga dewormers which attacks roundworms. How about, Doc, if in case tapeworms naman? Very common actually sa market sa Philippines are the Praziquantel and the Albendazole. For example, Dipylidium caninum, tapeworm na siya. So, Albendazole would be the treatment of choice. Okay? And then, how about sa flukes naman or sa trematodes? Naman siya sa next slide. Pero usually, basta sa trematodes, ang common na ginagamit sa practice is the Praziquantel. And sometimes the Levamisole has an effect on flukes or trematodes. Pero kung nalang man kay Praziquantel na lang ang gamiton. Naradyo na siya guys sa mga common nga dewormers. And please also take note, there are some specific species of roundworms that needs a specific treatment. Example, this whipworm, Trichuris vulpis, di ba ang appearance is on the microscope, direct fecal smear are this one. May bipolar plug siya, kani. So if in case ma-detect mo na siya, usually they cannot be treated using typical dewormers or common nga mga dewormers. So ang usually ginagamit din nga dewormer for Trichuris vulpis is the fenbendazole. Available man siya sa market. Fenbendazole or inactive form febantel. Please take note. And then for the heartworms, of course, different na ni siyang case. Okay. Depende man siya sa ano mo, sa severity. Or what I mean is, once makadetect ka sa heartworm, please take note that you do not, what do you call this? You do not kill the adult danay. Why? Okay, for example, you will give ivermectin. Of course, mapatay magina ang adult stages of heartworm sa ivermectin. But the question is, asa mo padulong ang patay nga heartworm? Kaya naa siya sa circulation, or let's say naa siya sa heart, naa siya sa major blood vessel. It will go to smaller blood vessel, they will cause obstruction, and may tendency nga ang ido mamatay due to cardiac arrest. Or tungod kay may block nga artery or vein sa ilang parts ng ilang body. So that is why kung mag-positive sa heartworm ang dog, first thing ninyong himuon is number 1, give the dog with doxycycline. Why? Anyone? Hands up. Nga ang mahatag doxycycline for the dogs with heartworm? Bakit? Anyone? Hands up?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right you can save
Okay, too late na kagabuya. Ditalk already responded, yes, to kill the Wolbachia. Wolbachia is that, pwede man siya mag-call as bacteria, but typically Wolbachia is a rickettsia. Wolbachia is a symbiote of the heartworm, and then if in case mapatay si Wolbachia, may tendency nga mangluya pod na or dili maging optimal ang reproduction sang adult na heartworm. So amo na siya nga mahatag doxycycline. The duration, please read the mark na lang. Next is for the microfilaria. Okay? Gamitan naton sila og microfilaricidal nga mga medication. Okay, what is the example be? Another bonus. 1 point ka na daytok ha. Give one microfilaricidal nga medication. Hindi maka-affect sa adult danay. Grabe dok, imong pangutana wala man dire sa wala pa man ta kasugod mo na ning pangutana no. Nadyo na sa inyong parasitology. Selamectin, ivermectin. No, those are adulticides. Adulticide din sila. Mga avermectins, they kill roundworms. Of course, they can kill heartworm, but microfilaria. Ivermectin, moxidectin. Actually, pwede man si ano. Pero, no, I am not, hindi si Moxie ang akong ginapangita. Wait lang guys ha. Sige, sige. Ang ni-answer, ang pinakauna sa ivermectin, Ibaya, Andrion, Chan, Saludo. 0.5 lang kamo ha. Bonus 0.5. Pero si milbemycin, actually ang ginapangita ko, ang kay Piña Verde, ang milbemycin oxime. Ayo dani pag ivermectin kay basig mo sa mukuyawan pud na gihapon. Di ba aman anam radanay. Ang actually ivermectin pwede pero usually milbemycin ang ginagamit kay at least destroy gid ya. Okay? Next is the adulticide. Now, ano ang usually ginagamit for adulticide? Another bonus. Yes, that's correct, Chan. Milarsomin. So, yes, si Milarsomin actually, paano na siya gina-administer? Usually, dira na siya sa muscle on the lumbar area or muscle of the buttocks of dog. Kay dira na siya nga area kay maka-create man siya irritation on the injection site. Pero amo na siya actually ang ginagamit para makapatay sang dog. Makapatay I mean sang heartworm, not the dog.
Bruh.
Kaning Ariel ha, I'm not saying that ivermectin and moxidectin are not used as as microfilaricidal. In fact, pwede sila gamiton. However, ang ginapangita mong good na kon is the milbemycin oxime. Pero as an alternative for heartworm prevention, si moxidectin, ivermectin, selamectin, pwede sila magamit for heartworm prevention. Okay? So, hopefully nga na ano nyo na sa heartworm. And then, trivia lang ta. I guess you are familiar with Hachiko. Actually, wala ko ni tan-aw sang kaninga movie. It's because nga lisod nang maghilak ta, guys.
Bruh.
Wala ko nag-dare. Kaya ako ganing manghud kalalaki, hilak. How much more ako nga veterinarian. So, si Hachiko, wala na siya namatay sa depression. Namatay na siya, syempre sa katugayon niya, tapos wala pa good may gaatiman siguro, walay heartworm prevention, kinamatay laging owner. The dog was infected with heartworm and then most likely amo nang iya nga kinamatyan. So this is actually the heart and lungs of Hachiko. Sad story lang din. Now, with regards to the trematodes, so examples ng trematodes that is present in dogs are the Paragonimus westermani, Nanophytosalmonella, and the Erythrema pancreaticum. Si Nanophytosalmonella actually, ga-carry na siya sa Neorickettsia helminthoica, which causes salmon poisoning. And then for the protozoa, very common actually there is the Giardia and then the Isospora. Okay. So treatment for protozoal infection, so very common actually is the metronidazole. However, if you will be dealing with coccidias, for example, Isospora, Cryptosporidium, Toxoplasma, hindi na siya metronidazole. Or pwede ka maghatag metronidazole pero dapat may ara ka TMPS. Doc, what is the TMPS? Trimethoprim sulfa ng mga drugs. And then this babesiosis and hepatozoonosis, this is most likely a protozoa. Yes, there are actually protozoa. And then treatment sang babesia is imidocarb. Please take note ha. Babesiosis, hindi siya effective, okay? Hindi siya effective for, what you call this? Kung gamitan siyang doxycycline, maybe it will cause an effect on babesia, but imidocarb dyan ang treatment of choice. And also for the hepatozoa. Next is the fungal. So, please take note na sa fungal infection ha, but I would like to highlight here. Wala ko na mention dere, but please take note of the Candida albicans. Because the Candida albicans is one of the main cause of urinary tract infection of fungal cause. Take note ha. Kay of course, for UTI in dogs, very common nga bacterial species nga cause UTI is the E. coli or Escherichia coli. Pero kung fungi, wala lang na-mention there is the Candida albicans. And then, aring mga dermatophytes and the yeast, dito na lang ni siya sa dermatology. And then the rest, please study na lang sa Merck Veterinary Manual. Okay? Abe? Yes. Last na slide there is enumeration is the rickettsial disease. But hindi man siya the least kay they are actually one of the set of diseases that is also very common infecting dogs. Number one is the ehrlichiosis caused by Ehrlichia canis. This is actually a tick-borne rickettsial disease. General term para ma-substance ang client, they are considered blood parasite. Usually, gaka-pair na sila with Anaplasma or Babesia. Now, with regards on ehrlichiosis, di ba treatment of choice natin is doxycycline, usually given at 28 days. Okay. Now, with regards on the Ehrlichia canis, ayaw jud mo patuga-tugang ipa-stop dayon ang treatment sa client, even though nga maayo na siya on the first week, second week. It's because the chance of the blood parasite that will recur if hindi ma-complete ang treatment is very high. Even gani bisan kumpletohon mo pa ang 28 days, tapos ma-introduce na po siya balik sa another ticks with infected with Ehrlichia, so mabalik ra gihapon na siya. Even my dogs gani git 28 days ko, agi 30 ko na gani ha, gibalik yang gapon of Ehrlichia canis. Kasi syempre, accidentally nagka-utol man kay nalaps ilang bravecto. So, mao na siya ang reality sa Ehrlichia canis. For the anaplasmosis, okay, usually it is also being treated with doxycycline, and some literature says that it can be treated for 14 days, but new study suggests that kung pwede pa lang, aring sa Ehrlichia, si anaplasma, kung pwede pa lang matreat up to 42 days. But of course, ang issue there, it's not the duration actually. It's the budget of the client. Di na magani sila ka-afford og tambal nga hangtod 14 days tapos ipa 42 days pa nimo.
Bruh.
So mao na siya ang concern naton dera as veterinarian, but it's another story na. But of course, as veterinarian, we need to recommend what is best for the pets. Next is the canine pyroplasmosis. Dito na siya sa protozoa. Rocky Mountain spotted fever caused by Rickettsia rickettsii, the salmon poisoning disease, and the Q fever, Coxiella burnetii. Typically, do wala man siya kaayo ka-highlight as canine diseases. However, for the reason nga it is a multi-species or it is a pathogen that infects multiple species, then we need to highlight this one. Especially that Q fever is already existing in the Philippines. So, ano sa? So what to do with regards on this topic is to ang tawag sa name? Is to read the Merck Veterinary Manual. So the disease listed in this PowerPoint and also ato mga disease or mga pathogens na mention na kon during this lecture, please take note na lang to kay amo na siyang basahon naton. And then may ara man ta exercise actually kung unsa rin maabtan sang remaining 28 minutes ta, then amo na siya example naton dere. Okay, mahatag lang ko mga examples dere guys. And then listen to the lecture discussion so on. Okay. So we will now exercise ourselves. First case. Sige. So this is actually a case of a Siberian Husky, 8-year-old with onset of vomiting, lethargy, and increased thirst. Okay. On the physical examination, the dog was estimated to be 7 to 8% dehydrated and a tense abdomen upon palpation. So meaning there might be an abdominal pain na. The kidneys appear to be slightly enlarged, tapos BCS is 5/9, and these are the laboratory findings. Now, with regards sa iyang laboratory findings, please zoom in na lang guys sa inyong PowerPoint. Hopefully that you are still listening there. As you can observe, the hematocrit is lower than normal, so as the platelets. White blood cell is within normal range. And then, sa biochemistry panel, you observe that the creatinine and urea are markedly increased, and also the phosphorus. And with regards on the urinalysis, take note of the specific gravity, kaya dapat 1.1 something na siya mo. Pero kung 1.022, that is assumed to be hypostenuric urine, and there is presence of glucose. Okay. Amo na siyang abnormality, guys. Nga abnormal ang presence of glucose. Anyone dare to explain? Nga abnormal. Review your physiology. Why is it that presence of glucose in the urine is not considered normal?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
Guys, okay pa tada? No! Hindi na. Still okay? Okay, sige, para wala. Kayla, proceed.
For me po, Doc, simply put, there's probably a problem with the kidney. Glucose is usually, I don't know if it's the right term, pero macromolecules man ni sila. So they're often taken back into the body. So if there's an increase of glucose sa urine, meaning na injury kaning mga dagko na stuff nakalusot naman. So mao na po. That's my answer.
Okay. Actually, that I would rate that as 0.5/1. So at least may 0.5 na ka nga bonus. Hindi, sakto man nga there is a renal injury during the renal tubular injury during the case of leptospirosis. But it is not because kay tungod nga nilusot si glucose, because take note ha, glucose is expected nga makalusot man gid siya sa glomerulus. Expected normally makalusot gid na sa glomerulus. However, dito sa proximal convoluted tubule, they must be reabsorbed. That is why sa proximal convoluted tubule pa lang wala na nay glucose. Kay tungod nga gi-reabsorb na siya sa body. And therefore, dapat ma-negative siya. So, technically, this is actually a case of leptospirosis, guys. And why? Because during on the urinalysis, given bed ni dakong kidney, may liver problem, taas kaayog urinary enzyme sa iyang blood chemistry, plus there is a presence of glucose, that could highly suggest that this is a case of lepto. Why? Renal injury, liver problem, plus high glucose in the urine, because usually they attack the proximal tubules, aring Leptospira, therefore anogid ang animal or ma-reflect yun ang among nga clinical presentation. So take note ha, presence of renal problem and glucosuria in the urine is suggestive of leptospirosis. That's my point here for this case. But of course, for the hematocrit and platelets, expected naman ni sila nga magnubo kay syempre there is an injury in the liver, injury in the kidney, so ma-leakage gid na ang mga red blood cells and platelets, or tungod sa possible injury kinahanglan igamitan platelet to heal the affected tissue. So manubo man gid ang ilang number in the circulation. Okay? So that's it. Give me 3 differential diagnosis, be. Give chance to others, be. At bisan tig isa lang, first three. Okay, Rebukas, proceed.
Aside sa leptospirosis, Doc, pwede po toxic nephropathy. And then, toxic nephropathy, Doc.
Okay, isa lang kabuok. Okay na to.
Okay, Doc.
Sige. Others. Anong AKI? Acute kidney injury. I beg to differ the acute kidney injury because mo reflect man good ang increased kidney enzymes sa biochemistry if in case 2/3 sa kidney ang na-destroy. So, hindi siya acute. Wow, sana all kay Joseph Fanconi syndrome.
Bruh.
Okay, nataha Fanconi syndrome, yes, that's correct. It is actually a predisposed nga disease and diabetes. Of course, due to the presence of high glucose. Kay butang naton ha, even though if the kidney is okay, normal, but if in case diabetic ang animal, may tendency nga nagihapon mga glucose molecule na hindi ma-reabsorb kay na-saturate na ang tanan nga proximal tubules to reabsorb the glucose. So, yes. 1 point sa katong mga nag-answer for differentials ha. Congratulations. Ulihin na kasi Riam, sorry. But you have a point. Toxins. Next, on this case, a 4-year-old intact female mixed breed dog. By the way guys, ha, time check 2:39. Kung sa rin maabtan naton, I have prepared 20 cases. But the rest, reading assignment nyo na lang na siya or inyo na lang praktisan. A 4-year-old intact female mixed breed dog that live in a rural community. Wait lang ha. Nag-experience lethargy, weight loss, anorexia for 4 days. Properly vaccinated man sila, pero may ecchymosis lang sa iyang buccal cavity, and then there is a presence of Rhipicephalus sanguineus on their body. Now, what infectious agents can be transmitted by Rhipicephalus sanguineus? I have already mentioned that Gahina, Ehrlichia canis, Babesia, Anaplasma, also Hepatozoon can be. So usually mga rickettsial organism ang gina-carry ni Rhipicephalus sanguineus, the brown dog tick. Okay. So what are the 2 most striking abnormalities sa ilang CBC, even though that the total protein is high, but not that may significance man siya, pero i-correlate siya sa other results. Pero ang 2 striking abnormalities actually here, please zoom in if gamay sa inyo dira nga is the presence of very low hematocrit and almost very low hematocrit, okay, pero 0 reticulocytes and 3 times 10 lang na platelets, tapos ang normal is 150 to 500. So what is happening here is that wala na regenerative or wala na regeneration of new blood cells, especially red blood cell. Why? It's because wala na kay reticulocytes. So, di ba? Reticulocytes are the precursors of red blood cells. So, kung wala na presence dara, meaning there is no regeneration, meaning guba na ang production sites ng reticulocytes. On this case, the bone marrow and the spleen. And also take note ho of the platelets. Because this is actually a case of ehrlichiosis. Okay? So, with regards sa Sininga case, ang gusto ko lang i-highlight is that usually or most of the time, low platelet highly suggest ehrlichiosis. That is why it is being assumed or being gina-analogy sa dengue sa tao. Kaya di ba ang dengue sa tao, ganun ang platelet. But please take note that low platelet count in humans is pathognomonic for dengue, but low platelet count in dogs does not automatically suggest nga Ehrlichia ni siya. Yes, daghan lang jud o munubo lang jud ang platelet sa dogs with Ehrlichia. It's because nga ginagamit man gud ang platelet for healing sa mga destroyed nga blood vessel. Okay, so siyempre kung may blood parasite, may injury sa blood circulation, gamitan platelet. While labot dera ang blood parasite mo cause pagid sila injury sa production site in which bone marrow, spleen. So may tendency nga wala na platelets nga ma-form. That is why there is a low platelet. But it doesn't mean nga it doesn't mean nga Ehrlichia dayon na siya. There is a high association but not all the time. Amo na ang gusto ko i-emphasize dere. E base ba lang mag-abot ka mo sa practice, uy, taas platelet. Ehrlichia na ni? No. Okay, we have a case actually sa OJT kami sa Cebu nga ang problem to gani is urinary stone. For routine procedure din pa CBC, nubo ang platelet. Nag-suggest sang SNAP4DX or test kit. Wala siya, kay nag-assume kami Ehrlichia. Actually, wala Ehrlichia. Ang nag-positive, heartworm. So, kung ikaw siguro naghambal ka nga, ay okay, Ehrlichia na ni kay taas platelet, tapos mag-abot sa test kit, wala Ehrlichia. Basig masuyaan ka pa sa client.
Bruh.
So, amula na siya. Na one thing to take note with regards on ehrlichiosis. Pero Doc, paano magdubo ang platelets sa dog with heartworm? Siyempre, presence of microfilaria and adult parasite in the circulation causes multiple injury, and siyempre, muak man jud dapat na si platelet para nga itabunan ang injured na site. That is actually considered DIC or disseminated intravascular coagulation. So how to test the presence of blood parasite? Actually, ang ginagamit dara is the ELISA test, primarily mga antibody test. Take note ha, for Ehrlichia, Anaplasma, and Babesia, ang ginagamit dara is antibody test, not the antigen test. So anong implication dara? If in case mag-positive ang dog for those blood parasite, or especially for the Ehrlichia, it is expected or it is assumed na the dog is already infected with the blood parasite 2 months prior. Why? Because the antibody production against Ehrlichia, kasi syempre antibody test actually will be processed or makita na sa circulation for 2 months. 2 months na siya nga maka-build up sang sufficient ka antibodies nga ma-detect sa test kit. That is why ayaw mo katuod hayon nga may kalit na og kaluya tapos positive sa Ehrlichia. Meaning ang iro infected na daan, wala pa lang nag-show clinical signs sa una, karon pa lang. So mao na siya actually ang medyo kulba basta blood parasite. Okay? If you have questions please put it in the chat box while para nga ma-cater na ako. And then okay, third nga case. Guys, are you still okay there? Pampamata lang to guys, kay I know 246 basig na nga tulog na tadira tanan.
Bruh.
Okay. This third case actually is a 4-year-old intact male mixed breed dog was referred for further assessment. Na-treat na ni siya for amoxicillin clavolanic acid, pero may swelling siya sa iyang nga tiil, kay nasamad, and then nakit-an ninyo nga may ara siya facial spasm and trismus or lockjaw. Actually, guys, this is a case of tetanus. Typical clinical manifestation of dog with tetanus aring trismoso or kanang bitong create og wrinkle sa iyang forehead sa mga dogs. Mo man siyang typical signs for tetanus. Tapos lockjaw, maglisod na og tulon or magkaon. Tapos in the long run, mag-init ng iyang lawas and manggahi or spastic paralysis. Now, Doc, if in case ma-present sa amon ng tetanus, how should we treat it? If there is a presence of tetanus antitoxin, sige, pwede nato magamit. Tetanus antitoxin ha. Ang tetanus toxoid amo na siyang ginagamit before. Kung naanadaan ng toxin sa lawas, TAT na siya. Tetanus antitoxin ang gamitan. Okay? Aside from that, we need also to kill the causative agent, the Clostridium tetani, by antibiotic. Na-mention din na gamit naman silang amoxicillin clavulanic acid, but once naanaga ni nervous signs sa tetanus, ang ginagamit namon is ampicillin. For better scope, ampicillin plus sulbactam. Kay base may ibang resistant na sa ampicillin. So usually, the dosage rate of ampicillin is 5 to 10 milligram per kilogram parenteral, whether IV or IM, every 6 hours. However, if in case the disease is already manifesting nervous signs, it is actually suggested to increase the dose for up to 40 milligram per kilogram. I guess you might not found that on the Merck or on the PLAMS na drug handbook. Pero at least na-share ko na sa inyo ha. Basta gani mga amo nga case tetanus at ampicillin or ampicillin plus sulbactam. Injectable ta guys. Ayaw pag oral kay di na ni matabang sa oral ang kaninga mga cases.
Bruh.
Pwede ka mo ka increase the dose for up to 40 milligram. Ha? Amo na siya guys ang aton nga pwede nga ma-chemo. So please take note of that. Okay. So that's for the case of tetanus. Now, for this case number 4, kataas na makaayo ni basahon. This is actually a case of canine distemper. Okay, so ang clinical signs niya may conjunctivitis, coughing, diarrhea, and may-ari siya mga seizures actually and fever. Typical signs of canine distemper. But usually, the dogs with canine distemper na gina-present, usually mga muta-muta pa lang naka-respiratory problem mo. May arat na tayo hindi pa na magkirig or wala diarrhea. But you need to be meticulous or you need to be precautious if in case nagasuspect na ka mo distemper. Why? Because the spread of the virus nga infect sa dog with distemper is airborne. Kung mapasulod na siya sa clinic tapos butang naton be aircon pa dyan inyong clinic, may tendency nga kato mga normal dogs, kuyaw pa jud walay bakuna sa sulod, basig malatnan or basig matakdan. So, dog, how to treat the dogs with distemper? Actually, ang rationale lang diri for the treatment of dogs with distemper, paminaw ka mo guys. Number 1 is to boost the immune system. So, pangita ka mong tambal nga something maka-boost sa immune system sa dog. Number 2, kill the secondary bacterial infection. So, that's the time na mahatag ka antibiotic. And then, lastly, number 3 is to give supplements that could stimulate the overall health of the nerves. So, usually be complex na siya. Pwede ka mo actually kahatag oral medication, but ako lang siya suggestion based on my experience and practice because I have treated a lot of distemper cases. Basta distemper injectable gid ko guys. Tatlo ginaka-injectable tapos gina-session ko na siya every 3 days for 3 to 4 session depende sa severity sang case. And then, ano tawag outpatient lang. Ayaw lang i-admit. Kay basig magka-distemper ang tanang iro dila sa inyong clinic.
Bruh.
Ano pa ba? So, aside from that, I guess na-mention ko naman tanan. Yes. Yes, I already mentioned on that. Any questions so far? Okay, for this case number 6, this is actually an example of a dog nga may persistent UTI kapila nagi-antibiotic pero wala gihapon na ayo. Kay further evaluation sang urine sample, naa siya'y fungal hyphae. This is actually a fungal hyphae of Candida yeast. And Candida is actually very common cause of UTI of fungal source or fungal origin in dogs. And then, Ario. Sa case number 7, basahon nyo lang siya guys during your study. This is actually a case of babesiosis. Gitagaan na ni siya doxycycline pero gasigi gihapon ang or same lang gihapon ang condition sa dog. Why? It's because nga doxycycline is not technically effective good for babesia. Di ba na-mention ko naman to kagahina? The treatment of choice for babesiosis is imidocarb. Ano na siya? Actually, na siya sumpay. Imidocarb dipropionate. Pero usually, imidocarb is already enough na. Now, when you treat the dog with imidocarb, usually, ginahatag ni siya parenteral. It can be sub-Q, IM, or IV, depende sa available nga, or depende sa formulation. Pero please be careful or please consider that one of the adverse effect of giving imidocarb in dogs is hypersalivation. So if you will give the dog imidocarb, prepare na lang kamudaan atropine or any anticholinergic na drug. Okay, if in case maglaway-laway na ang after 15 minutes sa paghatag, at least na anak kay atropine. Or pwede gani nga idalon nyo na daan sa billing si atropine. Kaya at least mo ingon na lang ka nga ma'am, kung maglaway-laway siya na atay antidote, free lang ni siya. Pero di ay na-appeal na sa suko.
Bruh.
So, amo na siya guys, ang sa babesiosis. Usually, ang treatment sa ni is every 2 weeks. 1 injection, follow-up after 2 weeks. But of course, aring blood parasite cases does not only go sometimes alone. Sometimes in group pag gini sila. May ara na nga case gani nga kompleto gid 3-in-1, positive sa Ehrlichia, positive sa Anaplasma, positive sa Babesia. Of course, on that case, make sure nga ang treatment nimo is optimal na. So, butang na to mas mayo nga mag-doxycycline ka for 42 days and also give imidocarb plus supplements para sa ila. Okay? So, hopefully you have learned something on this case. And then, na-mention, these are actually example for, this is an example of coccidiosis. Because, no, this is an example of giardiasis, sorry. So, usually, the common clinical manifestation of dogs with giardiasis is diarrhea or kanabitang isulti sa client nga, nagkalibang na naay sagol dugo nga may danlak-danlak. Kanabitong danlak-danlak is mucus na siya. And that is actually a typical clinical presentation on dogs with giardiasis. So kung mag-fecalysis ka, most likely may ma-detect ka ng giardia or the cyst of giardia. So how to treat the dog with giardiasis? Use metronidazole. Okay? And then please also be mindful that metronidazole can also cause liver damage upon prolonged dosage. So, mas mayo nga tagaan po ninyo siya og liver supplements. Okay? And then, wait lang ha. I guess, this is actually a case of tetanus. Wait lang guys this one na lang. Last na lang case. Last na lang case. May review natin. This case actually is a case of parvovirus. Okay. Please take note if you have plans to go to other country para dito mag-practice, hindi na to common sa some of the US states ang parvo. Kung may ma-detect sila nga parvo, automatic maratol na sila. Pero sa Philippines, we eat parvo for breakfast.
Bruh.
So, amo ni ka-common diri ang parvo sa Philippines. Now, just like I mentioned kagahina, parvovirus is actually the parvovirus does not directly kill or might not directly kill the dog. However, ang effects ng virus itself amo ang gapatay sa dog. So for in this case, usually basta may ma-present sa inyo nga puppy na severely dehydrated, this dog actually is at risk na sa ginatawag naton na hypovolemic shock. Kaya tungod sa sige nagkalibang niya og pupo nga may dugo, so may tendency nga mahurot dyan ang iyang fluid sa lawas, pati ang iyang dugo. That is why nga basta parvo case gani kagrabe ng kalibanga, make sure ninyo nga may ano sa tawag sini, make sure na naka IV infusion kamo or at least nakahatag kamo something to rehydrate the animal. So when you treat parvo, number 1, hydration gina. Number 2, antibiotic for possible secondary bacterial infection. And usually there are actually antibodies preparation para ihatag sa dog with parvo. Kung wala, I'm not being biased sa brand but ang ginatawag na is Kanglob. Kanglob P for parvo or Kanglob D for distemper. Nakatry man ko na pero wala na siyang mahambal ko. Hindi gyapon guaranteed. Based on experience. It will help pero it will not give a guarantee nga once maghatag ka Kanglob, maayo dayon ng ido kay I have lots of dogs nga gintagaan sang antibodies nga naayo, daghan pod ang namatay. Kay syempre basta parvo gani nakadepende jud na sa immune system sang dog. Okay? So that would be all for this meeting. Ang iban nga mga examples dere please review na lang or research sa kung paano ning mga cases nila. And then, we will have a 15-minute break for those students ng may feline medicine. Okay? So, time checks, it's 2:59. We will go back. Ayaw lang kalib sa GC.